explaining why she doesn't keep the comment section open on her Instagram page on it.
But by design, I also recognize that a lot of those people aren't going to my page to see negativity. And so not just protecting myself or the people that work with me, but also the supporters. So I don't have the comment section on.
Perhaps she should rename as ever, as if. Meghan also managed to help create, in my view, the worst dinner party in history by being the guest of honour at a vegan woman-only banquet called A Seat at the Table, hosted by Emma Grede, a British CEO. All the clichés were there. As ever supplied the wine, and the chef, Camilla Marcus, who had supplied the plant food, said, "My entire culinary mission is all around regenerative food." She concluded, abandoning the likes of meat and dairy is the only way we will have food for generations to come. Give me a break. It's easy to say that when you're loaded, but when you can't afford to make ends meet and are struggling to feed a family like most of us, choices like that just aren't on the table. This week on social media, Meghan Markle boasted about her busy working life to the soundtrack of Dolly Parton's 9 to 5. Seriously, the most work she probably has to do each day is decide what designer gear to wear. She can have round-the-clock help if she wants it, which she may well have. Nothing like the real hard-working 9-to-5ers. The Americans aren't buying any of this.
Only got where she was because she slept with the spare and got knocked up. Let's be honest about it. I mean, that's, I guess that's one way to do it. But, don't sit here and call yourself a female founder when you married the money. And you married the prestige. You didn't build anything for yourself. You committed the greatest sin in your Gloria Steinem feminism rulebook.
So the big news, of course, is Prince Andrew. The royal who apparently can't sweat will no longer be known as the Duke of York after agreeing with the King that continued accusations around the paedophile late Jeffrey Epstein have become a distraction. Now, the way Andrew's framing it is as though it was actually his own decision, but we all know that it probably wasn't. The King had to do something to distance himself from him. And it means that Sarah Ferguson will no longer be known as the Duchess of York, but her kids will retain their titles as princesses, and Andrew will, however, still remain Prince. Well, you see, that is what the King should do with Prince Harry. That way, Meghan Markle will no longer be the Duchess of Sussex, a place she is unlikely to visit, as by all accounts she has refused to set foot in the UK ever again. Not even sure she actually knows where Sussex is.
There are moments in history when silence speaks louder than words, when class conquers chaos, and when grace outshines gossip. Once again, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Sussex, finds herself the calm eye of a storm stirred by those desperate to dim her light. This time, it is Nana Akua, a loud yet hollow voice of televised foolishness, who has embarrassed herself publicly by calling on King Charles to strip Meghan of her title. Akua's laughable remark that the most work Meghan probably has to do each day is deciding what designer gear to wear revealed far more about her envy than it did about Meghan. She even went as far as to joke that she's not sure Meghan actually knows where Sussex is. But the truth, beautiful, shining, and undeniable, is that Meghan Sussex has never needed geography to define her greatness. She carries Sussex in her grace, in her poise, in her humanity, and in her refusal to bend to cruelty. While Akua chose mockery, Meghan chose majesty. When Akua's words spilled into the airwaves, the internet reacted instantly, not with laughter, but with disgust. People from across the world saw her words for what they were, the bitter musings of a jealous critic attempting to stay relevant by throwing stones at a woman whose light simply refuses to dim. What Nana Akua didn't understand is that every insult thrown at Meghan Sussex turns into admiration in the hearts of millions. Her attempt to ridicule backfired spectacularly. Within hours, Meghan's supporters filled timelines with love and defense, flooding platforms with images of the Duchess's charity work, compassion, and global influence. Because Meghan doesn't need to shout. She never needs to answer foolishness. Her silence is power, and her dignity is disarming. What Akua called deciding what to wear is actually the art of influence. Every outfit Meghan chooses tells a story of empowerment, of representation, of intentional elegance. From wearing African designers to supporting sustainable fashion, her wardrobe is a message of unity and conscience. When Meghan wears a designer's creation, that brand sells out in minutes. When she carries a small business's handbag, its orders skyrocket. What other woman in the world can turn fabric into a movement and appearance into activism? Nana Akua could never understand that kind of impact because it comes not from fame, but from purpose. Meghan's power is soft but unstoppable, rooted in intelligence, compassion, and self-respect. Let's remind Akua of what true work looks like. Meghan Sussex left behind the noise of the British tabloids and the toxic palace politics not to escape duty, but to protect her peace and her family. That takes courage, a courage many only dream of having. When she and Prince Harry stepped back from royal duties, they didn't crumble. They soared. Meghan became a producer, a philanthropist, a mother, a global advocate for women and mental health. Her work through Archewell continues to change lives, from feeding the hungry to championing parental leave, women's education, and digital safety. Yet Nana Akua, who contributes nothing but shallow noise, dares to call Meghan lazy. How ironic that the one doing the least talking about her work is doing the most good. What Akua and her kind always underestimate is the sheer magnitude of global admiration for Meghan. From California to Kenya, from Paris to Pretoria, the world sees her as more than a duchess. She is a symbol of resilience. She endured the world's most brutal tabloid campaign, racialized hate and constant bullying, yet she never lost her grace. She smiled, she held her head high, she raised her children with love, and she built a life filled with purpose. Meanwhile, Akua's moment in the media cycle lasted only a few cheap laughs before vanishing into the pit of irrelevance. History remembers the dignified, not the desperate. Let's call Akua's rant what it truly is: envy dressed up as commentary. Every word dripped with bitterness, not insight. Every joke betrayed insecurity. She mocked Meghan because she could never be her, never possess her composure, her intellect, her global platform, or her unbothered calm. Jealous critics like Akua pretend to speak truth, but are actually revealing their own smallness. They use Meghan as a mirror and see everything they wish they were: loved, respected, admired, and authentically powerful. That's why their voices tremble when they say her name. It's not hate, it's hunger. They crave the relevance Meghan carries naturally. While Akua wastes airtime on insults, Meghan Sussex continues to create real change. Her work with World Central Kitchen, her partnership with the UN, and her support for women-led organizations show her heart is focused on global upliftment. She's spoken for racial equality, gender balance, and compassion in leadership. She's taught the world that modern royalty isn't about castles, it's about conscience. She turned the pain of being vilified into fuel for something far bigger than titles or crowns. For Meghan, the title Duchess is not the source of her power. It's merely a symbol. Strip it away, and she would still shine just as brightly. Because the world doesn't love Meghan for her title, it loves her for her truth. After Akua's comments, the backlash was swift. Thousands flooded social media calling her statement disgusting, bitter, and irrelevant. Prominent figures in media and fashion condemned her lack of professionalism, pointing out that Meghan's influence is unmatched. Imagine mocking a woman who's achieved everything through class and grace, one user wrote. Nana Akua learned to respect a queen. Others highlighted the irony of Akua claiming Meghan doesn't know where Sussex is, while she herself doesn't know where decency lives. Meghan has never chased crowns, she's chased purpose. That's why people across continents look up to her. Her speeches inspire, her actions empower, and her kindness restores faith in leadership that listens. She's a mother, raising two beautiful children in love and security. She's a wife standing beside her husband through storms. She's a humanitarian, proving that true royalty doesn't need palaces, it lives in the heart. When people like Akua throw stones, Meghan builds gardens. She grows from what others use to hurt her. That's what makes her immortal in public love. Aqua's outburst revealed the truth about a media industry addicted to tearing women down. It showed that some people mistake cruelty for courage. But courage isn't mocking others, it's standing for something noble. Meghan Sussex is what every powerful woman represents: intelligence wrapped in elegance, calm under pressure, and success without apology. The world doesn't listen to loud critics, it listens to kind leaders. And Meghan is one. While Aqua's words disappeared in the wind, Meghan continued her work, meeting students, supporting small businesses, standing for justice. She didn't respond, because true queens never argue with jesters. Her silence was her statement, her calm was her crown. The world took note. You can't strip a woman of dignity, not even a king could, because dignity isn't given, it's earned. Years after leaving royal life, Meghan still dominates global headlines. Her influence in fashion, humanitarianism, and media remains unstoppable. Every step she takes is followed, every word analysed, every appearance celebrated. Because Meghan represents something bigger than monarchy. She represents evolution. She's proof that a woman can rewrite her destiny and remain kind in a cruel world. In time, Nana Akua's remarks will be forgotten, lost in the dust of irrelevant outrage. But Meghan Sussex's name will live in history books as the woman who walked through fire, smiled through hate, and turned pain into power. History doesn't celebrate the loud, it celebrates the luminous. Meghan will always be remembered for her brilliance, while Aqua will remain a footnote, known only for the day she tried, and failed, to insult a queen. The real crown Meghan wears is invisible. It shines from her compassion, her resilience, her humility. It's a crown no king can remove, no critic can tarnish, no fool can touch. So let Nana Akua talk. Let her mock. Let her laugh at her own ignorance. The world has already chosen its side, and it stands with Meghan, the Duchess of Hearts, the woman who carries love wherever she goes. Because the truth is simple. You can't strip greatness, you can't silence grace, and you can't mock what you secretly envy.
The submission itself sounds nice. And to my amazing and peculiar Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos and tuning in to Daily Diaries Fridays update. Keep it light, keep it there, and see you next time in our next episode. Bye bye. May you have a good day and a good time. Keep shining. Bye bye.